Up there. Now switching gears to golf, local player Robert Nelson recently made waves with a great performance at the U.S. Senior Amateur Championship. Nelson made it all the way to the semifinals at the Honors Course in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We got the chance to catch up with both Nelson and local golf expert John Racciatti. First off, Robert, thank you for joining us.
Hey, glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. One of the big things that I took away from your performance was just how hard it is to qualify, to be able to get in. Talk a little bit about the qualifying process, what got you to Chattanooga there on the Honors Course, and then your strong performance there making the semifinals.
Yeah, the first step in any USGA event, whether it's USAM, Mid-Am, is getting through the qualifying round in your local state spots, and there's very few spots. Normally there's one spot. This year we happen to have two. So at the end of the whole thing, you have 156 that end up in the U.S. Senior Am.
Right.
Some of those get exemptions from prior champions, etc. So that's it. You start with the 156, and then you go through two medal play, stroke play rounds of golf, and this Saturday and Sunday, and then from there it's they cut it to 64, so you got to be one of the low 64, or you're packing it.
Yeah. You're a local guy, and there's so much great golf around here. What are some of the ways that you use a lot of these local courses to get yourself ready for that national competition?
Gosh, it's you know, any time I can play anywhere, it's preparation for a tournament somewhere, you know, whatever the tournament might be. And you know, one thing over the years I've always said, the light scratch tour here in our local area has been a huge thing. Having 8-10 tournaments a year, it's organized, it's played by the rules, and thank God for John and Golf Distributing Miller Lite for providing that wherewithal to have a venue for months during the spring, summer, fall, to play some competitive golf, kind of keep sharp. So that's a big deal. You
made it to the semifinals. What a part of your game has really been on right now, and some of the plays that you're leaning on and relying on to be able to do so well in these tournaments?
My iron game was pretty good. And as long as I didn't hit my driver off the tee, it was all right. If I used 3-wood or 2-iron, I was pretty good. My driver seemed to be a little more erratic than the others. But my iron game put me in good position, either on the green or just off the green, to where I could make a decent score. And that's the name of the game. Is not. I made one foul up in that last match where I lost a hole to a bogey. I mean, I made a double, and you just in match play, that's just. You can't do that. So, you know, live and learn, move on, and tried to claw my way back, but fell a little short.
Right. I know we still haven't finished 2024 yet. Have you thought about 2025 and if you'll play again?
I'm gonna play again. Being a semifinalist, you get a 2-year exemption out of it, so that's remotivating me to get in a little better shape and work on some of the weaker areas of the golf game, and try to come back stronger next year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, Robert.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Here with what we deem as our local golf expert, John Racciatti. John, always a pleasure to have you here. First off, let's talk big picture of golf. All the 4 majors are in. We've had the Olympic Games so far. What were some of your takeaways so far of what the calendar year gave us in 2024? I know it's not over yet, but what we saw big picture in the golf tour.
Well, obviously you got to start at world's #1, Scotty Scheffler. What an incredible season he had. I call him an ATM machine because he makes so much money. But to do what he done, major championship, a gold medal, and to win the FedEx Cup championship is truly remarkable. He's a good family guy, and he just had a new child this year and so forth. So he's had a lot of things happen in his life, but he's a real grounded person, and he's #1 in the world, and he put an exclamation point on that when he won the Tour Championship and the FedEx Cup playoff championship.
For sure. When you watch his game, what are some of the ways that he's even impressing you and impressing the golf world?
And I think he's just so consistent, and he's a very good driver of the golf ball. An outstanding iron player. His only nemesis has been his putting. He seemed to figure that out, because when he does putt well, you're playing for second. It's just clear cut. So Scotty Scheffler is, the question mark: how long can he sustain this level of play that he's done so far in 2024.
Let's turn here locally. You obviously run the Light Scratch Tour. It's a success every single year, more than 3 decades in. What were some of your takeaways of what you've seen so far here in 2024?
Well, I think it's obviously, I think, they've got to start with Robert Nelson's performance at the United States Senior Amateur. That's big. I know everybody was pulling for him. All our guys are like a fraternity out there. And it's good to see. We've done extremely well at the state level, winning mid-amateurs, senior amateurs, and so we've got a lot of really, really good players. At the end of the day, it's a opportunity for these guys to play against really good competition, sleep in your own bed, and prepare yourself for the next step, whether it's winning a state championship or winning the U.S. as Robert Nelson has done at the U.S. Senior Amateurs. So it's just a proving ground for guys to work on their game, and we've got a lot transition to a lot of younger kids coming out there in their mid-20s and so forth, and giving them an opportunity to hone their game.
But what I'd love to see is all the crossover guys that have crossed over from playing football and they also incorporate golf into their game, or basketball or baseball. How much have you seen a lot of those guys use the skills that they have in golf to use them in their other sports, whether it's professionally or amateurs?
Well, that's a good point there. I mean, you look at an MVP American Leaguer, Josh Donaldson, who's retired last year from baseball and was obviously an outstanding player in professional baseball, probably one of the greatest Toronto Blue Jays of all time. He's on the Light Scratch Tour, and he plays every event, and he plays golf all the time, and he's a really good player. You can see the athleticism in him, and he loves it so much that he wants to take his game to another level. So he's grinding out and so forth. So yeah, it's good to have him around, Josh. I mean, he's a big-time athlete, and he gets along with everybody, and he's just been a really good asset to the Light Scratch Tour.
Excellent. JR, thank you so much.
Hey, no, thank you guys.
Absolutely. And coming up next here on Sports Overtime, Simone Eli and Peter Albrecht